Right guys, we are live. Welcome to Sunday night late night agenda. Apologies for the delayed start, but life gets in the way sometimes. As always, we've got a really busy show, lots and lots of stuff to talk about tonight. Obviously we'll touch on yesterday and the somber events that took place, I suppose, across the country. I'll let you know more about that as we go on. Also, just want to say hello to everybody and hope that you enjoyed yesterday's game, and thank you to everyone that joined us for the watch along. The Revenite is in, Kenzu, Ben, lots of people coming in nice and quick to tonight's stream. How are you guys? I hope you're enjoying your Sunday. I hope you're enjoying your weekend. I hope things are well with all of your families. Look, there's lots for us to get through. I'm going to wait for more people to come in, so I'll just keep saying hello while we wait for the chat to fill up, because nobody wants me to keep repeating myself and nobody wants me to go back over the same things time and time again. So I'll wait for people to come in, just keep saying hi. Keen, how are you? Louise, Paul, Ben, Dirty Girl, how are you? Louis, Stephen Richards, Malgus, how are we all? Thank you for joining me tonight. I'm in great form today, guys. Obviously, look, we've got to touch on yesterday's events, and it was a very, 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 very dark day for our sport up and down the country. I don't mean dark because of anything that was done deliberately wrong or anything. You guys know what I'm talking about. There was a couple of things yesterday. There was obviously the tragic events that took place at Leicester City Stadium, the King Power Stadium, and as of yet, to my knowledge, nobody knows exactly what has gone on there. But before I speak, rest in peace. So has that been confirmed? Because I hadn't seen that for before I came on. But anyway, as we're starting tonight, yes, our thoughts and prayers, our love and best wishes are with everybody connected to Leicester City, all their fans in Thailand, the chairman's family, obviously anybody related to the club. I mean, this is a time in football where we all need to come together, and football rivalries put aside. We're all football fans. This is where we need to show love and respect to each other. It wasn't just what happened yesterday at the King Power Stadium. Unfortunately, a Brighton fan took ill at the game against Wolves, and unfortunately he passed away in hospital. And of course, then we want to give our best wishes to Glenn Hoddle, who suffered a heart attack while working for BT yesterday. The good news in Glenn Hoddle's perspective is that Sky reported that he has been stabilised somewhat and that he's responded well to treatment. Obviously, words can't express the sympathy that you want to pass on to Leicester City at this moment in time. That is something they would have never thought was coming, something that any of us would never have foreseen. It's a very sad time, a very dark day for the sport. I don't know what else to say, guys, except love and best wishes. I know Lee Chappie, I talk to all the time, massive Leicester City fan. You guys probably know him as the Jamie Vardy lookalike. Myself and himself correspond quite a lot. He's been really nice. We've done stuff together gone back a few months. I don't know what to say to him when he's been messaging and gone back and forth, except to send all of our love to everybody connected to Leicester City Football Club. It's something that you can't describe. It's something that you want to treat respectfully with love, and I've seen some people try to do otherwise, and I'm not even going to dignify it by giving them the time on air, because it's not about that tonight, folks. It's about coming together and sending love to everybody. Yesterday, the man's family in Brighton, everybody connected to Leicester City, as I said, and of course Glenn Hoddle and his family, although at least with Glenn Hoddle things are looking a little bit more promising. This is a Liverpool Football Club show, guys. We will be moving on to Liverpool Football Club topics. Don't worry. I'm not here to just ruin your Sunday evenings or to try and put a sad tint on things. But we're a football family. We love the game. We love each other. And lots of people in there pray for Leicester as well. Absolutely, guys. These are Premier League champions. This man brought that football club to be Premier League champions. He developed them. He's done amazing things for the fan base. I've heard stories of free breakfast for the fans along away games. I've heard stories of scarves being left on the fan seats on the coaches, free donuts, bottles of water on the chairman's birthday. Nobody has anything but positive things to say about the chairman of Leicester City Football Club. And all I can say, just to finish up on this, as I said, our love, our thoughts, our best wishes go to everybody connected to Leicester City. Of course, to that gentleman's family, the Brighton supporter who passed away as well. Our thoughts are with you and Glenn Hoddle and his family. Guys, I just want to push on. I just wanted to touch on that before we started, because we're a family. We're not just a Liverpool family on here. I come on here every night and I tell you guys, this is a community. This is a family of Reds, a place where I want people to feel safe and come on and share their thoughts and stuff like that. But more than that, sometimes you just have to push these things aside and that you just have to, come together and put your arm around your brother, your fellow football fan, send them your best wishes, give them a hug. I wish I could be there. I'm sure you do. You guys do as well. So anyway, let's finish up on that and we'll park it up to one side. I know it's hard to move on, but we've got to try and get through the show tonight. But our thoughts will always be with the people of Leicester and, of course, Glenn Hoddle and the gentleman at Brighton. But to move on, guys, a couple of you are asking that I could see already, what's the rumour about the signing? I'll move on to that a little bit later in the stream. I do have a bit of an agenda to get through. I just want to say hi to a few more people as well. Ferno, Louise, Alpha G, how are you, sir? Picasso will be jealous of that thumbnail, Craig. Thank you, mate. It's kind of what I wanted to spread the news tonight. It's kind of the vibe I wanted, Alpha G. So I'm glad you noticed the thumbnail, mate. It means a lot. Our fans have often looked at the three forwards, the three amigos as I like to call them, Luis Suarez, Bobby Firmino and Mohamed Salah. And what we've seen of late is fans almost try to pitch the three guys against each other. Fans try to, you've got your Mohamed Salah fans, you've got your Bobby Firmino fans, you've got your Sadio Mane fans. What I'm trying to say is, guys, let's not put pressure on Mo to score 46 goals. Let's not put pressure on Bobby. Let's not pit Bobby against Mane, Firmino against Salah. These are a group, these are a trio that we need to enjoy while they're at the football club. Let's not worry about contracts that aren't being signed yet. Let's not worry about things that we've no control over. Let's not try and invent scenarios where somebody has been pissed off by somebody else or somebody's not passing the ball to somebody else. It's all absolute bullshit. It's all there, planted by other fans to try and make us fall apart. These three gentlemen, these three forwards that we have right now at this football club, you may not see the likes of them again in your lifetime as a Liverpool fan. We've been blessed to have some tremendous assets, some tremendous forward-thinking players at this football club over the years. Mohamed Salah, Sadio Mane and Bobby Firmino are three of the very best. So what I want to say tonight is don't try and play them off against each other. We all have our favourites. It's no secret to you guys that Bobby Firmino is my favourite player at the club. But I'd never say anything bad about Sadio Mane. I'd never try and undermine Mohamed Salah because they're beautiful players. I love them both dearly and I'm so glad they're at the football club. That's all I wanted to say on that subject. Congratulations to Luis Suarez as well on banging a hat-trick tonight against Real Madrid. I know he left, I know he's left the club, but I don't like Real Madrid. I'm not going to lie, I just don't like them. So to see Luis Suarez bang a hat-trick and Lopetegui to be on the brink of being fired already after what happened with Spain, it's interesting times in Spanish football. Real Madrid seem to be a bit of a farce at the minute. There's a beautiful picture I've seen of Ramos almost caught in the netting. And look, you can say you bitter Liverpool fans still angry over that. Well, yeah, we are. And yes, I am. I hate the prick. I honestly despise him. But Luis Suarez bagging a hat-trick in El Clasico. That's, is it El Clasico? El Clasico? Le Clasico? The Clasico? El Clasico. It's El Clasico. Congratulations to him because they don't come along very often. So well done. Read through a couple of your comments now. Craig, did you see Ramos' face? I did, Stephen, and I enjoyed every fucking second of it. I'm not going to lie. Enjoyed every second of it. Louise said 3 smashing forwards and goal scoring. Exactly. And look at them. Do they look like 3 players in that image? Do they look like 3 gentlemen that don't get on with each other? They love each other. They know that each one of those individuals allows the others to shine. What Bobby Firmino does off the ball allows the space for Mo Salah. What Mo Salah does dragging defenders one way allows space for Sadio Mane. We could talk about this till we're blue in the face. They all complement each other perfectly. Don't try to play them against each other, one person's strengths against another person's weaknesses, because that's not what it is. This is a trio. We are a team. This is a unit. And that's the way I like to look at our forwards. I said before the season started, I don't care if Bobby gets 40, Mo gets 2 and Mane gets 1. I don't care. As long as Liverpool go on to try and win the Premier League, I don't care who scores the goals. I love them all to hit 20 plus, and I believe they will. I truly believe they will. I think you're probably going to see Mohamed Salah end up in the high 20s to low 30s. Mane probably mid 20s to 30s, and Bobby probably 22, something like that. Just a complete guess. But don't try and play them off against each other, guys. Don't let them win. Don't let all these negative fuckers out there in social media win. You guys know what's up. You guys see these players every week. Do they look like lads to you that don't like each other? No, not at all. Those guys enjoy playing with each other. There's been stories planted everywhere. We spoke last night. about Mohamed Salah, and we spoke about the idiot that is Paul Merson talking about him wanting to go away. A couple of weeks ago it was Sadio Mane. Then we had the stories around Bobby Firmino and Barcelona. They're all there for a reason, because we're doing well. If Liverpool weren't playing well, if Liverpool weren't top of the table at this moment in time, these stories wouldn't be floating about. People are scared. That's all I'm going to say. Move forward to your comments now, guys. I do have a lot of stuff for us to get through tonight. I've been really looking forward to tonight's show. I'm completely buzzing after the Reds win again. And of course, while I'm saying all this, I don't mean to be disrespectful at all to the events of yesterday. They're always going to be at the back of all of our minds. But we do need to push on. We need to keep going. I want to have a bit of fun with my fellow fans, because positivity is what I think the world needs right now. Particularly the footballing world. There's enough people out there being negative, and I don't mean that from a sombre sense. I mean, there's enough trolling going on out there at the minute. There's some absolute despicable comments being posted. Dirty Girl said Merson is a pisshead. He is, yeah, pretty much. Could call him a lot worse than that, but I'm not going to dignify it anymore. I think I gave him enough time last night. Premier League table, said Ben. Liverpool first, second, who gives a shit, third, who gives a shit, and fourth, who cares? Nobody cares, mate. First is first, and the rest can go and fuck themselves, he says, before Manchester City play Spurs tomorrow. That's going to be a very interesting game of football, guys. I put out a poll on the Anfield Agenda YouTube or Twitter account. I keep getting those two mixed up. On the Anfield Agenda Twitter account, asking what people want results-wise. Do you want the Manchester City win? Do you want the Spurs win? Would you like a draw? Now, obviously, I wasn't expecting many people to vote for a Manchester City win, because it doesn't make much sense. Because I suppose the only argument you could make for that is that it pushes Spurs a little bit further away, but we don't really see Spurs as genuine title contenders. Well, I don't anyway. I see them as absolute top four contenders, very good football inside. I'm not being disrespectful to Spurs, but for me it's between Liverpool and Manchester City. So, do you want to draw tomorrow, guys? Let me know. Would you like to see Spurs turn over Manchester City? We've seen Chelsea obviously win yesterday as well, so they're keeping up the pressure, trying to stay up there. United won today against Everton, although they usually guaranteed 6 points a season against their feeder club. Gareth said, Salah leaves for massive money. Could Shaqiri do a similar job? No, would be my opinion, Gareth. In all sincerity, no. I don't think Shaqiri has anywhere near the amount of goals in him that you get from Mohamed Salah. And I also wouldn't want to see that much pressure put on Shaqiri's shoulders. I like the job he's doing now. I like the kind of level he's at the club. I'd like to let him build himself up rather than have a position like that thrust upon him. Hope City lose or draw, said Ferno. Liverpool 1, United 8. That made my day. The Revenite said, Craig, the Emu helped us out. Loving it. Come on, you Palace. I see a lot of Arsenal fans as well really pissed off over the penalty incident. I didn't really see it. I saw a brief glimpse of it. Was Granit Xhaka involved in that penalty incident? Or am I going mad? I know he scored a free kick for Arsenal after me saying he was fucking useless yesterday. But was he involved in that penalty incident? Either way, it doesn't matter. Milivojevic scored 2 today. So yes, that 2-2 draw did us a favour. But, as I said the other day, I don't think Arsenal are what they're made out to be. They've been on a great unbeaten run. You have to give them credit for that. But they're weak at the back. I think we'll exploit them next week. We're going to have a good game. It's going to be interesting to see, but I think we could go there. And honestly, I think if we show up, we could do them for 3. That's how confident I am. I'd rather Spurs win. They're less of a little challenge or a little... We'll go again. I'd rather Spurs win. They're less of a title challenge in the long run, said Paul Lee. Would love City to draw tomorrow, said Will. Craig, some prick walking around the Alamo in a United shirt. I thought, what's going on there, Stephen? I thought that was an Everton zone you were living in. Although, look, as I said, Everton is almost like Manchester United's feeder club at this point. The Revenite said he was, yeah. Tottenham are my third team, so come on the Spurs, said Gareth. Third team? That's a bit odd, Gareth. How many teams have you got there? I know sometimes people have a soft spot for a second team, but a third team as well? I mean, I'm not judging, mate. As long as you enjoy the games, that's all that I give a shit about. You're a football fan and you're welcome here as a football fan, but a third team seems a little bit strange. Ushi Nolan said, yeah, Xhaka gave away the penalty. I'd love to be critical of him. I'd love to say, haha, useless prick, like I did yesterday, but from what I seen, the quick glimpse I seen of that, it looked like a very soft penalty. Spurs win because they don't have the squad to last the pace, hopefully, said Tom. Liverpool Legends. Can I get a name for you, Liverpool Legend, by the way? It just sounds really weird for me saying that every night. Or even just a nickname. Something I can call you that isn't Liverpool Legend. because it sounds weird me saying that. We're the true Reds, Gooners and Devils have black and white. Louise said practically Spurs to win, but a draw would do. A draw would do, to be fair, Louise. I'm with you. I think a draw is probably the most likely result tomorrow, or a Manchester City win, if I'm being honest. I don't see Spurs turning them over. Even all, Justin, sad news from Leicester puts things in perspective, doesn't it? Said Damo. Certainly does, mate. And I hadn't seen that news, so I'm going to go live onto Sky now just to see. I don't want to call out something that's incorrect. I know there was a statement coming. Yes, okay, so I'm going to read out the statement that's been put out on Sky, if that's okay for everybody, people that are joining us late as well. Leicester City have confirmed that the chairman was among 5 people killed in a helicopter crash on Saturday night. The 60-year-old Thai businessman was on board his own personal helicopter, which lost control and crashed in a car park at the King Power Stadium following Saturday's match against West Ham. A Leicester club statement read, "It's with the deepest regret and a collective broken heart that we confirm that our chairman was among those who tragically lost their lives on Saturday evening when a helicopter carrying him and 4 other people crashed outside the King Power Stadium. None of the 5 people on board survived. The primary thoughts of everybody at the club are with the family and the families of those on board at this time of unspeakable loss. The world has lost a great man, a man of kindness, of generosity, and a man of whose life was defined by those love he devoted to his family and those he so successfully led. Leicester City was a family under his leadership. It's at a family that will give his passing and maintain the pursuit of a vision for the club that is now his legacy. Under his ownership, Leicester secured promotion to the top flight in 2014 and against the odds of 5,000 to 1 won the 2015-2016 Premier League title. The Leicester statement added a book of condolences which will be shared with the family will be opened at the King Power Stadium from 8 a.m. on Tuesday the 30th of October for supporters wishing to pay their respects. Supporters unable to visit the King Power Stadium that wish to leave a message can do so through an online book of condolences that will be made available at lcfc.com in due course. Both Tuesday's first team fixture against Southampton in the EFL Cup and the development squad fixture against Feyenoord in the Premier League International Cup have been postponed. Everybody at the club has been truly touched by the remarkable response of the football family, whose thoughtful messages of support and solidarity have been deeply appreciated at this difficult time. So as you can see, guys, the news sadly is through. 5 people passed away, including the Leicester City chairman yesterday. So I didn't know that when we started this stream. I didn't know the exact details. The statement hadn't been released the last I'd seen. So obviously our thoughts are with those. The entire Leicester City family, the chairman's family, the pilot's family, everybody involved in that accident. It's a sad, sad day for humanity. It's a sad day for football. Love and prayers to everybody at Leicester City. And of course, we can't forget about the gentleman who passed away at Brighton as well, to his family and to Brighton, of course. Guys, we'll push on. As I said, we were talking about the front 3. It's not often you get a front 3 like we have at Liverpool at the minute. We've been spoiled before. We've had Robbie Fowlers, we've had Luis Suarez. I know people don't like it at the minute, but we've had Michael Owens, we've had Ian Rushes, we've had goal scorers, we've had terrific players going forward, we've had King Kenny. We have players that know where the back of the net is. But at this moment in time, to have 3 players, probably in my opinion the best front 3 in the world as a unit at this moment in time, Mohamed Salah, Sadio Mane, Bobby Firmino, it's a privilege as a Liverpool fan to be able to look at that team sheet week in, week out and see these players. It's very easy to see them as the world-class players that they are now, but those players were developed and have developed and will continue to develop under the leadership of Jurgen Klopp. Now, Mohamed Salah came into the football club from Roma after a very good season. I'm not sure exactly how many goals that season. I believe it was in the 20s or the high teens. But he came in and exploded underneath Jurgen Klopp in a system that Jurgen Klopp obviously set up to get the best out of Mohamed Salah. Bobby Firmino as well has been reinvented as a centre forward and has probably reinvented the false 9 role, if you want to call it that. Sadio Mane, everybody knew about. Sadio Mane was an explosive footballer that we'd seen do tremendous things for Southampton. We'd seen him first hand at Liverpool. He broke Robbie Fowler's hat-trick record. So for these 3 to come in, they were very good players when they arrived at Liverpool Football Club. But now they're superstars. They're world-rated players. They're players known in every country in the world. Mohamed Salah is one of the biggest stars in football. There's also a phrase that's used by many Liverpool fans, is that Liverpool don't buy superstars, we create them. And I think that is true. We give players the platform to go and prove themselves. And it's because of that players come into Liverpool and the owners often give them contracts that are highly incentivised, because they want people to come in and be hungry. They want people to want to improve. And if they improve, and if results go as they'd hoped, and if people hit these targets, then we've seen that the owners are more than willing to come back in, renegotiate contracts, and reward these players for the magnificent performances that they're putting in. Now, some people believe that our front three have had a tough start to the season this year. Sadio Mane is on 7 goals. Mohamed Salah is on 7 goals. I think Bobby Firmino's on 4 if memory serves correct, and Daniel Sturridge is on 4 as well. I could be wrong. There could be one of those that are one off, but to the best of my knowledge anyway. That's not a bad tally for the start of the season, guys. People just seem to think about the 46 Mo scored last year. Just look at where he was this time last year. Everything is on track. We have got to the top of the table without playing our best football. Defensively this season we have been night and day to what I realised before. It's time to stay together. It's time to enjoy what's here and not try to undermine everybody. These people that are worrying about Sadio Mane and his contract situation, what's the point of it? What's the point of sitting here worrying about a contract situation for a player that we've no control over? What's the point in trying to second guess things for tweets on Twitter, or for retweets on Twitter, or for likes? Coming on here with social media posts trying to say there's an issue there with the player, he wants to leave the club. The truth is nobody knows. This is why I've always tried to be honest on this channel. I've always tried to say that I don't have inside information. I don't know things. I'm just giving a fan view. Somebody else mentioned there the song For Dirty Old Town to Virgil van Dijk. It's an absolute beauty, isn't it? I was playing it there earlier on, and Dirty Old Town is a beautiful Irish song. To see Virgil van Dijk's song sung to that tune is, or name sung to that tune is brilliant. It's a great song for those of you that haven't heard it. Craig, our front three are the envy of the league, as is our manager, said Stephen Richards. He certainly is, mate. He most certainly is. Liverpool have the best front three and the best defence in the world, said Gareth Phillips. Paul Lee says Fabinho moving forward looking. Fabinho more forward looking than Hendo. I'd keep playing Fabinho, see how he goes. As would I, Paul, mate. I was only having this conversation on Twitter with somebody earlier on. Nobody wants to disrespect Jordan Henderson, and I think Jordan Henderson is a very good footballer, but the level we're after seeing from Fabinho in that position, in the 6, makes me think that we could have the solution to a position that we seem to have been struggling in for a long time. Look, there was more obvious positions we needed to fill. We needed a centre back, we needed a goalkeeper, we needed a left back, but there was always nagging doubts around the midfield, the toughness of our midfield. We've called this boy the octopus already for a reason. He seems to be everywhere. He seems to swarm all over people. And he does, as you said, he is a little bit more forward looking. He does tend to step into the opposition half a bit more. He can pick out a pass, as can Jordan Henderson, to be fair to him. But for me, mate, like you, Paul, I'd like to see Fabinho carry on. I'd like to see him get the start against Arsenal. I'd like to see him dropped in there now. He's got a taste for it. He's shown that he can deal with it. For me, it's time to give him the shirt and let him have a run at it. Same with Gini Wijnaldum, his stats this season, and I've got a few of them there for you to talk about later on. For me, the starting 11 I'd like to see against Arsenal next week is Alisson Becker in goal, Trent Alexander-Arnold at right back, Gomez and Van Dijk as our 2 centre backs, Andy Robertson at left back, midfield trio of Fabinho, James Milner and Gini Wijnaldum, and then the front 3 as the front 3. That's what I'd like to see start against Arsenal next week. I can understand people calling for Shaqiri. I'm a big Shaqiri fan as well at this point, but away from home against Arsenal, in what could be a battle in the midfield, I'd like to see James Milner in there. I'd like to see Gini Wijnaldum. And look, when legs are tiring, if we're chasing the game, if it's tight, if we're looking to kill it off, then having Shaqiri to come off the bench with 20-25 to go is an excellent asset for us to have. Right, where else? Some more comments. Is Salah injured with his shoulder? Is it still patched up? Asks Louise. Louise, your guess is as good as mine. It shocked me when I seen his top come off a few weeks back and seeing the bandaging still on the shoulder. I guess he's probably still receiving treatment for it. I'd say that's pretty fair. But if it's hampering his play or not, nobody knows. Well, I certainly don't know. It's tough to say. For me, when I've seen him recently, and look, his shoulder may not have anything to do with this, and I could be completely imagining it, but he doesn't seem as pacey as he was. Now, I don't know if that's, as I said, if that's me completely just pulling something out of the air. But even yesterday, I've seen a couple of foot races where he got there, but he just got there. And I don't know if that's because he did enough. He just did enough to get there, or if it's because he's perhaps a little bit worried about his body. I don't know, Louise, but it is strange or worrying to see that the bandaging is still there. But look, he's playing, he's scoring, he's obviously fit enough to do that, so fingers crossed he just continues to progress. Garrett said Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain to come back as well. What a midfield it's going to be. It's going to be amazing. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, Fabinho, Milner, Henderson, Gini, Shaqiri, Lallana, Grujic. Have I missed out on Naby Keita? I mean, we're forgetting about Naby Keita here. When Naby Keita comes back in, then what do you do? It's another tough decision for the manager. Do you go with Naby Keita, Fabinho, and Gini Wijnaldum? I mean, the options are brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Fabinho's looking boss the past 2 games, said Claire. I do love that word boss, but I don't think I can get away with it as an Irish man saying it, so I'd like to be able to read it when people put it in the comments. So thanks for that, Claire. It gave me a chance to say the word that I don't dare really say. There's a few more comments I want to get through, so bear with me, guys. Where is it? Trying to find where I was. There we go. Jurgen Klopp has already said Mane has a long-term contract anyway, so it doesn't really matter, said Louis. I think he's got at least 2.5 years left on his deal, mate, but so why worry exactly? No point in worrying about it. These things are complicated and none of us know why the contract is stalled. It could be a case that they just want to concentrate on football for a while and they've said, look, we'll revisit this in a couple of months' time. Our front 3 were bought for £98 million. What a bargain, said Aaron. It is when you think about it like that. £98 million for possibly the, or arguably the best front 3 in the world, Aaron. It sounds like an absolute steal, doesn't it? Horrible news about the Leicester City owner confirmed. Absolutely, Robert. We did speak about that a little bit earlier on. Our thoughts and prayers with everybody at Leicester, obviously. Fabinho's looking boss. I've said that one as well. I just wanted to read it out again, Claire, because I like saying that word boss. I hope Shaqiri starts against Arsenal. We're going to need him for that game, said Louis. Shaqiri should start every game. I think he's ahead of Henderson and Lallana. I agree. I would put him ahead of both as well, Gareth. It's more the type of game for this one. It's not that I don't think he'd be able to do something. I just think perhaps Milner and Gini Wijnaldum would be that little bit more defensively minded if needs be. If it was at home, I'd be playing Shaqiri all day. And I'd be saying, let's go, let's get at Arsenal. Just away from home, maybe I'm paying him a little bit too much respect, but for me, I'd like to see James Milner and Gini Wijnaldum in there alongside Fabinho. Is there a shout to try and get a left back in the January window and let him bed in so he'll be ready for next season? Cover for Robertson in case he gets injured or is just knackered, said Damo. I'm harbouring hope that we go and sign that Sessegnon guy, and I know he's not a left back, he's definitely more of a left-sided midfielder, but I really have hopes we go and get him in the summer. He looks like an absolute quality player. Fulham are struggling at this moment in time, so whether he stays there, whether Fulham go back down, I don't know. We'll wait and see how the season progresses. There probably could be a shout, mate, for a left back. You could look at it that way, or you could look at it that you've got Nathaniel Klein that can cover either side. And we know James Milner can play left back as well. Look, he doesn't want to, and I don't blame him. He's proved himself in midfield at this point. But there is options there, so I don't know. It would probably want to be fairly little money for me and somebody who you'd be looking to develop, but then you've got the problem again about trying to bed them in. Who's at home for the Arsenal game, mate? We're away. Arsenal are home. Anthony Peter said 9 points is defo on from Arsenal, Man United and Everton games after what I've seen today. United were not great at all, and I had a couple of posts about Paul Pogba during the game. Look, he caused Everton's goal, let's be clear about that. I thought he looked arrogant on the field again today. his run up for his penalty, you can say he scored the rebound, that's fair enough, I can't argue with that, but there's just something about that guy I can't take to. There's no denying that he's capable of brilliant things on a football field, but he's just not there. I'm glad he's not there. I'm glad he's not fucking doing great for United. I hope he stays there and becomes shy forever. I seen somebody yesterday commenting that Juventus might try and do a deal to bring Pogba back to Juventus and send Emre Can back to United. I mean, that's some step down from United from a signing. I'm not slagging off Emre Can. I'm saying to go from Paul Pogba being one of the world's most expensive footballers then to possibly looking at Emre Can. I don't know if it's true or not, but it's something somebody said to me yesterday. Real Madrid are a joke without Ronaldo, said Robert. Who's the £60 million signing? I will get to that, mate, don't worry. As I said, I'm just going through a couple of things first. Prediction, Salah opens, Pierre equalises. Aubameyang, you mean, sorry. Where's that comment gone? Salah opens, Aubameyang equalises, Salah crosses to Firmino who scores, also shoots and misses, Mane kills the game off. Also had a bit of a sulk today, didn't he, when he came off? I seen Graham Souness wasn't shy about laying into him. Another player who just seems to show up when he wants. I'd hate to have him at our club, I honestly would. I'm not just saying that to have a cheap dig, I just couldn't stand looking at his fucking half-arseness some weeks. I don't like that in players. You forgive a player anything if they put in 100%. Mignolet, Origi, Moreno, Henderson, Lallana can all go, said Dirty Girl. Of all those, Henderson would be the one I'd least like to see go, Dirty Girl, but we made the arguments yesterday as to why it may be possible. Henderson's days are numbered at Anfield, says Gary. Ken Zood's prediction lineup for the game against Arsenal is Alisson, Trent, Gomez, VVD, Robbo, Fabinho, Milner, Salah, Shaqiri, Mane and Firmino. Damo said hoping Salah is just protecting his shoulder, preventative more than anything, fingers crossed that he completely trusts the shoulder. I'd say it might well be preventative, mate, as you've said. I think that's one of those pain patches you can get on Mo. Interesting, mate, thank you for that one. Always good to get everybody's thoughts on this. Maybe we can come to a collective conclusion then when everybody pitches in. It's one of the beautiful things about coming on here. I said this last night. Sometimes I come on with one idea and I get to hear everybody else's opinions and we form a consensus and then we can all leave with a different view on things. Would you take Fekir if you got the chance again? Said Aaron. 100%. Aaron, yes mate, without a shadow of a doubt. You probably struggle to find a Liverpool fan that didn't want them on here in the summer, and I'd be included in that. I did say that I respect why Liverpool didn't buy him. I don't know why that is, but I respect that whatever the decision making process was, it was in the best interest of the club. Would I take him if they wanted to go back in? Damn right I would. In a heartbeat, mate. Kieran Bailey said, this goes to every red on the stream. Do you really think you can beat City to the title? Asked Kieran Bailey. It's a good, fair, honest question, Kieran. Do we really think we can beat Manchester City to the title? Yes. Yes is my honest answer. Would I make Manchester City favourites? Yes. Do I think we can do it? Yes. Do I think we will do it? I can't say. I told you guys yesterday, and I'm going to stand over this. I'm just harbouring hope that I think Pep's under a little bit of pressure for the Champions League, and that maybe one eye will slip off the Premier League. But all we can keep doing is what we're doing, Kieran, and we can't believe them to be invincible. We have to believe that we can win this league title. There's no point in us being in the race. So, do we think we can do it? Yeah, why not? Let's go and do it. Be nice to see Leeds promoted, said Gareth Phillips. I could probably think of a lot of people that would disagree with you on that one, mate. I love the manager though. I do love a nutcase, I have to say. A nutcase in the most respectful way, of course. Bielsa is a footballing genius and a footballing madman all built into one. Louise said, true Craig, I agree, if it doesn't seem to bother him. All the new players from what I've seen are doing really well. Nice top, Craig, I've got that one, said Stephen Richards. Cheers buddy, I'll be honest, it was on the discounted rack in the Adidas outlet store in Orlando. I think it was like $30 or something like that. Seriously, our midfield is incredible. Happy day, said Claire. It really is, Claire. I mean, not being big-headed or not being arrogant about this, but what a selection of players Jurgen Klopp has at his disposal in that midfield. And we're doing all this without Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain having come back yet. Ben said, Craig, news on Buvac, or has all that stuff finished? It looks to be finished, Ben. Surely there could be no way or no reasoning as to why he would come back at this point. You'd have to imagine that something will be released at some point. It's very, very odd that we've heard nothing. Now, of course, Buvac is fully entitled to his privacy, and the club can keep things under wraps if they like. He's still on the payroll, by the sounds of things. He's on gardening leave, I believe. I don't know what's going on there, mate, but I'd be amazed to see him back. That's all I can say. Craig, Dirty Old Town was written by an Englishman. It's about an Englishman, or an English town, Salford, Lancashire. The Dubliners made it world famous, and later the Pogues. It's a beautiful song, though. It really is. And it's, let's be honest, Tom, it may have been written by an Englishman. I'm not going to dispute that one bit, but it sounds an awful lot better in an Irish accent. Let's be honest about that. That old Dublin, that old Dublin accent, as we like to call it, it's beautiful. And of course, Shane MacGowan singing it as well. Yeah, there's something about that Irish voice, isn't there? It just makes the song. Let's buy Fekir and Dybala, said Dirty Girl. Where do I sign, mate? Put me down. I'll definitely back you on that one. Where do I sign? That would be amazing. Can you imagine the scenes if Liverpool rocked up and bought Fekir and Dybala? I mean, that would send out a statement, alright. Not going to happen, but it would send out a statement. Shaqiri scored 8 Premier League goals last season, says Malik. But he scored one fantastic goal yesterday, mate. His first goal, competitive goal for the Reds. Obviously he scored in pre-season, but he took it so well. I was very, very pleased with how composed he was in the situation. Little drop of the shoulder with the right centre player one way, pulled it onto the left peg and just cushioned past it into the corner, gave the keeper no chance. Let's be realistic. If Hendo and Ox weren't injured, Shaqiri and Fabinho would be held back. We all know Klopp wants new signings to bed in. I've no doubt, mate, that no matter what happened this season, if everybody was fit, you're right, Fabinho would have still been held back and would have probably been dropped in and around now as he is, maybe even a little bit later, because that's what Jurgen Klopp does. So I absolutely agree with what you've said, and anytime Jurgen Klopp has introduced a new player, he seems to have hit the ground running, so we cannot argue with his methodology. Mighty Lad has joined us. How are you, sir? Thank you for coming back. He said hello to all you fellow Reds. If he gets the same number for us, it'll be a good season, says Malik. I mean, yeah, that's a fair point. For me, a good season for Shaqiri, depending on his game time, 8 to 12 will be brilliant. I'd love to see the goals shared around this year. I'd love to see everybody get their share. Getting the front three to all past. If they all hit 25, that would be amazing. Johnny Cuntylocks says hello to everyone. Our own Johnny Cuntylocks. If anyone doesn't know who Johnny Cuntylocks is, it's the name that I gave to the Leon chairman Aulas during the summer. Don't know why, I just felt like I needed to give him a new name, and Johnny Cuntylocks seemed like a good name. Gary said, I'm sure Liverpool will not make any signings in the January window. I'm kind of with you, Gary. If I'm being honest, I'm not really seeing anybody coming in. Depends on, actually, even on with injuries. I'm not a fan of football clubs going out and buying a player just because somebody else is injured. Because if you think about that from a long-term point of view, you bring in a player because you've got another player injured. Well, then what happens when both players are back fit? I just don't get it. It never really makes sense to me. I'd rather you go and strengthen the position that you need strengthening and just cover the other position for the time being. Christopher said, Kieran, I've never heard any Liverpool fans say that. Do we think we can win the league? No. Is that what we're getting at? It seems to look at the last few years, famous this is our year. No, I don't know what that's about. I'm going to move on. Shaqiri lighting up the games when he comes on, he starts. It's like all Liverpool players and the crowd lightens up. He does. He has that effect, Kenzo, you're right. People see him warming up on the sidelines and you're going to get this zippy, lively little terrier coming onto the field, and he pops up all over the place and he's hungry for the ball, which is one of my favourite things about Shaqiri. I love a player that demands the ball, that wants it, that won't hide away. sometimes, you know, you can say these players pick the wrong pass, or they do things incorrectly, or they try and take too much or take too much out of the situation, but you can never knock somebody that wants the ball, somebody that doesn't go hiding. The most inexcusable thing to me in a football field is somebody hiding, and that's something I think Ozil does quite a lot at Arsenal. And there's other players that do it as well. Neymar is a hider as well. He's an absolute fraud, but he's a hider. That's something you're not going to see with Shaka. Do you hear me? With Shaqiri. And that's something you're not going to see with many of the Liverpool players. You never seen it with Coutinho when he was here either. When he was on the field, he wanted the ball, and I love that about Shaqiri. Nice skin fade, bro. Liverpool going to win the league. I don't know what skin fade is. You've lost me, Theo. I'm gone, mate. Don't know what skin fade is, so... Kieran said, you're still behind City. Yes. No, Kieran, we're not. If that's... I don't know what's going on here, Kieran, mate, but no, we're not. We're top of the league. Until tomorrow night, anyway. Liverpool are top of the league, so I don't know what this is all about, Kieran. Craig, I think the summer is Jurgen's time to go shopping. I think you're right, Stephen. I don't think we're going to see another summer like the one we've had for a while. I think we really heavily invested this summer. And yes, it was money that we brought in. Not saying anything against that. It was definitely our own money. But sometimes when a manager comes in, particularly when Pep Guardiola came in, you see Manchester City front-loaded, as I like to call it. So you have one big expenditure and then you're just hopping up year after year from there. I think last summer may have been that year for Jurgen Klopp. Again, not having to dig at Guardiola, it's very common in football, particularly at the higher level when a new manager comes in. So he's been supported now by our owners. It's up to Jurgen Klopp to deliver. There's no more excuses. There's no more saying we can't compete. There's no more saying we're not at the same financial level. The manager has got the tools that he's asked for. We've got a fantastic squad. It's up to him, the players, us now as fans, everybody to get together and try and push this one over the line. Great channel, Craig. It's mustard, said Paul Lee. Thank you very much, mate. I hope you subscribed. I hope anybody new that's watching would subscribe to the channel, because this is a community of Liverpool fans, guys. It's growing. It's growing quickly as well. Well, I think it's quickly. People, you know, if we had an overnight success, then yes, maybe the subs might go up quicker. But you know, it's steady growth for me. So the channel's gone places. I'm still sad. A couple of people have asked me about Daz and on the bench, and I'm sad he's not putting out stuff these days. Great channel. You know I love Daz, so I hope he comes back on. Maybe we can even get him to do some stuff on here with us. If he hasn't got the time, he's always welcome to come on here. I'll have a chat with Daz anytime. He's more than welcome to do some stuff on here if he hasn't got the time to do it all on his own. Daz is a good friend of ours. Connor loves him as well. So sad that he's not doing stuff at the minute, but I really should touch base and see what's up. Craig, what 3 things would you take to an island, no family members, or survival equipment? Ooh, that's a really good question. I'm defo having my phone. That's without a shadow of a doubt. Although, does that count as survival equipment? You may say it does, so look, I'll play fair on this one. The Art of War by Sun Tzu, that book is definitely coming with me. What else would I take? 3 things. The Art of War, a football, obviously, and what else would I take? A blanket, because I can't stand sand and I can't sleep unless I'm covered up. So a blanket, the Art of War, and a football, mate. There you go. 3 simple things, unless I'm allowed a phone, in which case I'm having a phone. Shaqiri is great at hyping up the crowd, said Theo. Johnny Cuntylock says we have Keita for Arsenal. There you go. Thumbs up if you love the Reds, said Tom Conley. Absolutely, please do drop a like on the stream, guys. The numbers have started to creep back up on the likes, which is brilliant. It means a lot, so thank you for that. Craig, you look like Roberto Carlos with your Florida tan. Thank you, mate. I'm not going to lie, I worked fucking hard for this tan. I did. I put in the hours, man. I put in the shift. The only time any sun cream went on me was on the top of my head, because the first day I got crucified. I thought I'd put sun cream on the top of my head the first day, but I must have missed the patch, because I had 3 lines across the top of my head, and trying to shave my head when it was burnt, oh, it was sore, I tell you that. A skin fade is a haircut. There you go. That's how old I am, mate. Didn't even realise that, but thank you for letting this old man know. Summer signings dependent on what players are leaving, said Mr. RJC. Thoughts on Firmino to Barca? Again, I think I spoke about it just a little bit earlier on, Theo. Maybe you missed the start of the stream, buddy. I don't want to discuss it. It's not happening. I don't like seeing the front three being undermined at the minute, whether that be by foreign media, opposition fans, our own fans looking for issues that may not be there, trying to pit the players against each other. I'm somebody that just wants to enjoy having Bobby Firmino, having Sadio Mane and having Mo Salah at the club. I love seeing them week in, week out. I can't say what's going to happen in the future. There's no point in me sitting here worrying about Bobby Firmino and if he's going to leave to go to Barcelona, or if Sadio Mane is going to go, or if Mo Salah's going to Real Madrid. I just want to enjoy them while they're here. I keep speaking about being someone that lives in the moment, and I really am. I'm somebody that likes to enjoy what's going on around me at any particular time. I'm very aware of where I am, and I try and take things in. So for me, I just want to see them. I just want to enjoy them. Want to be there and see every goal they score. Want to take it in. Want to watch it back 100 times. Yeah, just enjoy it and not worry about the negatives. The negatives, if Firmino's going to leave, he's going to leave. Me, you, Tony, Isaac, Aaron, Kieran, Pepper Red, any of us worrying about it won't change a thing, buddy. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen. We'll discuss it. If serious links come up, of course we will, because that's what we have to do as a fan channel. But for now, I don't think there's anything to it. Tony said, I've got a good question for the group. Is it okay to push somebody off a train because the Black Chelsea FC? I gather that's in relation to the PSG supporter incident, which I'm not getting why you're bringing it up now, Tony, if I'm being honest, mate, at this moment in time. But no, of course it's not okay. What do you think about Alberto Moreno to Arsenal rumours? I hadn't given them much thought, Kenzu, until somebody mentioned it yesterday. And with Unai Emery being at Arsenal now, Moreno's contract running down, he's free in the summer, as far as I know, to sign for another team. If he decides he wants to go and play for Arsenal and Unai Emery, that is completely his decision. I never have any problems with a player who's seen out his contract. I have to say, I don't get all this hate for players like the Emre Can hate. I don't get it. Emre Can fulfilled his contract at Liverpool Football Club. He was a thorough professional while he was here. Put in his performances, did what he had to do. Alberto Moreno hasn't been a success in the whole, I think it's fair to say. If he sees out his contract at Liverpool and joins Arsenal Football Club, I'm not going to support him at Arsenal, obviously, but I'm not going to hate him either. But there is some sense to it. I can see where the rumours have started. I can see why people are putting those two together. And Arsenal do need defensive reinforcements. Can you call Moreno a reinforcement? I don't know. It wouldn't worry me if he signed for Arsenal. I think that's one thing I can say. I like your new trim, mate. Looks absolutely world class. Trim? If you're talking about my hair, then I'm bald all the time, but I feel so old here with some of these comments, lads. I feel like you're bullying an old man. Where else are we? Isaac said, I'm a United fan but love the channel. Thank you, mate. That's really kind of you. All fans are welcome on here, Isaac. I've said it time and time again, buddy. Whether you're a United fan, Arsenal fan, City fan, Everton fan, all we ask is that anybody that joins in the channel is respectful to other people, and you will get love and respect back, buddy. So if you're a United fan like you say you are, you're very welcome to the channel, Isaac, and thank you for the compliment, mate. Aaron said, Trent or Joe right back. Personally, I'd rather Trent. Think he gives us more attacking opportunity with the overlap. Yeah, Trent for me at right back, definitely. Joe at centre back. I can understand sometimes why Kloppo does push Joe out to right back, particularly if you're going to be up against somebody like Aronovich, who they could be hitting diagonal balls out to target a fullback, and you have somebody with the physical presence of Joe Gomez there to compete. Sometimes you could say that perhaps Trent could be bullied by the bigger players in those positions, or a big pacey strong fast winger. So there is sense to what Jurgen Klopp is doing, but at the same time, Gomez isn't a right back. He's not a natural right back. People can say Trent isn't a natural right back either, but he has been for a long time for us. I'd rather see him there over Joe Gomez, but having either there is a good thing. I'm not worried when either are there because they're both fantastic footballers. Kieran, you disagree on Liverpool. I know what's happening. So Anthony Peters. Everybody says phone but never a charger. I don't get that one bit. Everyone says phone but never a charger. I don't get that. Craig, I'm devastated. I've run out of Diet Chav, said Stephen Richards. I mean, that's an amateur move, Stephen. Right there, mate. I mean, come on. Fucking hell, running out of Diet Chav. I got my ass to the shop earlier on, mate. I came home from holidays. I had the bare minimum left in the house, but I got up, Stephen. I did what I had to do, pal. I went out there and I got my fucking Diet Chav like a warrior. I expect the same of you, Stephen. I'm very disappointed in you, sir. What's the £60 million rumour? Look, I suppose enough people have mentioned it now. I was going to leave it a little bit later on, but I don't want to be that prick that teases people throughout the stream. So, there's been a report that Liverpool are linked with bringing in Zielinski from Napoli. Now, we know we were linked with him before under Brendan Rodgers. The report goes on to say that he has a £60 million release clause in his contract and that Bayern Munich are also looking at the player. The report does also go on to say that Napoli are looking to tie him down to a new deal because of his good performances this season, and Napoli want to tie him down and get rid of this buyout clause, or at least get the buyout clause a lot higher. They want to reward him, is where I'm coming from. It's a bit unusual, and it's a little bit... What I don't like about this is Fekir was linked to Bayern Munich as well recently. Another player that Liverpool are apparently looking at is suddenly linked to Bayern Munich again. Now look, that could be just because Bayern Munich are in the market for somebody in that position, and you're looking at Fekir, you're looking at Zielinski. These are players that are going to be linked. To me, the Zielinski thing, Klopp is an admirer of him. He's been known to say that he's an admirer of the player. Well, at least it's been written that he's an admirer of the player. For me, he's not in the same ballpark as Fekir. And spending £60 million on him when we could have got Fekir for less seems unrealistic to me. All I can do is let you guys know about the reports that are out there. We have been into him in the past. Everybody knows this. He was very close to signing apparently under Brendan Rodgers. He's a Polish international. He moved to Napoli in the end. I don't think he's at the level we need, if I'm being honest. But I have to let you guys know about these things and let you go from there where what you think of it. But yeah, £60 million apparently is his buyout clause. He's been linked in the Express, it's the paper I seen it in, that Jurgen Klopp's interested in bringing him to Anfield. Take from that what you want. I'm going to say no, it's not happening. Why would you when you could have Fekir for less money? Or at least the same money. Craig, did you get a Cookie Monster onesie to match Sabrina's Elmo onesie cookies? I'd like to say no, Damo. I'd love to sit here and say no. Technically, I can say no. I didn't get a Cookie Monster onesie, but my mother-in-law buys us Christmas Eve pyjamas every year. It's something she did with Sabrina when she was a child that has carried on. She does it for our kids now, the grandkids, Sabrina and myself. And apparently, she bought me a Cookie Monster onesie this year. So, Sabrina does have her Elmo onesie. For those of you that may not have seen it, I put up a picture of it on social media. My 37-year-old wife, little bit too happy in her Elmo onesie. I'll hold it up to the camera here so you guys can see. So there you go, Sabrina, 37 years of age, a little bit too happy in her Elmo onesie for me to feel comfortable with. But yeah, there are reports made that I do have a Cookie Monster onesie on the way to me, so don't know what to make of it. I'm just that type of fucker though that will sit here and do a stream in a Cookie Monster onesie, so don't rule it out. If it's true that she bought me one, don't rule it out. Jay says VIP to everybody connected with the incident at Leicester City. Accident which will stay with everybody forever and live in their memory. You guys may have noticed when I'm talking about Leicester City and the chairman, I'm purposely not saying the gentleman's surname because I don't want to disrespect him by mispronouncing it, so I'm trying to just stick to the term chairman. It's purely from a respectful stance. I don't know why, but I always have this thing about mispronouncing people's names. I try my best to do it properly, and in this situation I just don't want to mispronounce the gentleman's name. Did you see Firmino's back heel while he was on the ground? Yes, Theo. What a piece of magic. I tried to describe it in commentary and I just said I can't. You'll have to see it. I don't know how to describe to you what he's just done, but it was vintage Bobby Firmino. Dirty Girl said, where is this one? Not that one. There was another comment there from Dirty Girl. Sky, Daily Star, Talksport, undermine and make shit up. Tony said RIP. Nice sentiment from Tony. Mr. RJC said, did anyone else see Alison and Bobby singing with a band on Instagram? Fabinho was there as well, mate. There was a couple of different videos, so yeah, brilliant. The boys love a bit of karaoke. Alison looks like he does fancy himself as a bit of a front man, doesn't he? Knows how to carry a tune. He looks beautiful up there with that beard. I mean, he's a mighty man, I have to say. But yeah, it's great to see the lads all enjoying themselves, and why not? When you're top of the table, when you're performing like they are, when you're winning week in, week out, when things are going well, it's great. And it's good to see that the guys all clearly get on and like each other, and that there's a bond in the squad. It's not all fake and put on for cameras, so fair play to them. Long may it continue. Hi Craig, Del here from the tweet about the tickets. Anywho, got sorted. I might say the best seats in the loop. That's brilliant, mate. I think you meant to say cop there, but you got sorted. That's brilliant news, mate. I'm so happy for you and your child. I think it's your son, but I don't want to say in case it's wrong, but I'm so happy for you. Unfortunately, Connor got let down, buddy, at the last minute. He showed up at Anfield believing he'd got a ticket and he was let down, so we couldn't go to the game. But I'm so happy you got them, mate. Brilliant. Always love to hear a bit of good news. So I hope you both enjoyed the game. How could you not have 4-1 victory? Garrett said David Silva's 32 and Aguero's 30. City's two best players will need replacing soon. Paul asks, who do you prefer at centre back, Gomez or Angry Boy Lovren? Gomez probably, mate. I do rate Lovren though, I have to say. He's had his faults, there's no doubt in that. I mean, that game against Spurs will forever be in our memories, but I think he's rebuilt himself since then. I've said this a few times, I think we're capable of going to a back three with those three. Dejan Lovren, Virgil van Dijk and Joe Gomez for me would be a very decent back three if we were to look to play that way. But of those two, at this moment in time, I think the jersey should belong to Joe Gomez, mate. So for me, Gomez beside Van Dijk. But it's great to have the options. Craig Moreno's a wing back, which is why he isn't worked out at left back. I agree, Stephen. I think if you were to limit his defensive responsibilities, you would get a lot more out of Alberto Moreno, because on the overlap and going down the left hand side and putting balls into the box, he's very, very good. Just positionally, he can switch off from time to time. I thought I couldn't hate people anymore. I thought I couldn't hate Pogba anymore, than I did, but then I had a bet on both teams to score a penalty today at 125-1. Oh, fucking hell, Niall. Well, that's tough, buddy. That is tough. Sorry that didn't come in for you, mate. Fucking the run up as well. I mean, what is about that run up? I don't know what to say. It's yeah. Well, now you've just found out you can hate Pogba that little bit more. Sorry your bet didn't come in, mate. I've actually taken a break at the minute. I've figured out that when I was away on holidays for 2 weeks, I was a lot less stressed. And look, a big portion of my income does come from betting, so it has supported our family and given us a good livelihood, I suppose, over the past few years. But I just feel like if I take a bit of a break from it, I'm a different person. I'm a lot less stressed. So yeah, maybe I'll carry on this break for a little bit longer. Just do a few little bets here and there for fun. The like button, it be smashed, said Louise. Well in. Thank you, Louise. And anybody else, please do hit the like button on the stream. And of course, if you're new to the stream, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And if you've already subscribed, something that I keep forgetting to say to people, and Connor's forever pulling me up on, if you're subscribed, firstly, thank you. Great to have you with us. But don't forget to turn on the notifications. The notification is in that little gear that's in YouTube there beside somebody know exactly where it is on the account. It's a little gear button. Click on that and turn on our notifications. And that means that every time we go live, you'll receive a notification. So sometimes people often say to me, shit, sorry, I didn't know you were on. A lot of people know we're on at 10 o'clock most nights, or 10:15, so they're ready to come on, join in. But sometimes we have surprise things, sometimes something comes up and we just jump on quickly. So if you have that notifications turned on, you'll know we're live, and you can decide then if you don't want to come on, you're busy or whatever, of course, ignore it. But it is the best way to keep in touch with us and let you guys know when we're live. I'm so happy to see you got sorted, Del, mate. Honestly, that's brilliant. I do love a bit of good news. Moreno's beyond belief. Worst left back since Inga Bjornaby. It's a little bit harsh. He's not great as a left back. As a lad, he looks like a great lad. He looks like a great fella. Always smiling, full of shit tattoos. And I do love a couple of shit tattoos. I mean, that monkey tattoo is up there. But yeah, defensively he's not great. But I have to say now that he did play very well against Cardiff, and Cardiff didn't offer that much going forward. But for me, Moreno was very solid in that game. Claire said, I have to say this, but Moreno had a great match yesterday. That's funny. I honestly hadn't read that, Claire, before I made my comment. But he did. He did have a very good game yesterday. And it's only fair to say we can't just... I mean, some of us have players we don't like. I know the people out there that don't like Hendo. Everybody knows I'm not a Mignolet fan. But if these guys put in a good shift, I mean, you've got to be honest about it and say, well done. Job done today. Did a good job. It was being sarcastic, bro, because sick, cocky Chelsea fans. Chelsea fans, I've said it once, Tony, I'll say it again, and I'm going to forever say it. They are the worst in the world as far as I'm concerned. I fucking despise them. The only exception to that rule is Connor's good lady Kira, because she's a wonderful human being. Other than that, I've no time for Chelsea fans. They're disgusting. The songs they sing, the lack of support they give their own players, the fact they don't have fucking songs for their own players, the racism, so much. I just don't fucking like them. Simple as. I'm respectful to most people, but I cannot see any goodness in the majority in those fans. I've been at Liverpool Chelsea games. I've heard some of the shit they've been singing. Are all Liverpool fans angels? No. So before any Chelsea fans hit back and say, but you said this and your guy said this and you sung this, every club has a few pricks in it. There's no doubt in that. For me though, Chelsea has more than their fair share. Ferno, you smell lovely, said Anthony Peters. Well done. Everyone says a phone for Ireland, but I forgot the phone charger capabilities is what I meant. Yeah, I get you now, mate. Sorry. True. I mean, it wouldn't be worth a wank, would it? Unless, of course, you had a solar phone, which are coming out. So if you had a solar phone or one of those solar rechargers, then you're in. The Drambui's kicked in, and I'm not going to stop typing now, said Paul. Mate, you kick back, relax, and enjoy yourself. Drambuie is something I've never tasted, but man, have at it. I hope you're enjoying your Sunday evening. Running out of diet chaff is a schoolboy mistake, said Raptor. It is. I'm just going to have a sup now just to rub it in on you. It's good stuff. Should have went to the shop and got some, mate. Schoolboy errors, Raptor said. Gary said, I would like your score prediction for Saturday, please, mate. And sure, why not? Let's put this out to everybody. What are you expecting on Saturday against Arsenal? We'll probably talk about this a lot of times between now and next week. 3-1, Gary, is what I'm going to go with. I think Arsenal will score. They're at home. They're going to have to push forward. But I think we can tear them apart defensively. So yeah, 3-1 for me, mate. Zielinski was once compared to Kevin De Bruyne. I'm not so sure, said Dirty Girl. He's not on that level. Without a shadow of a doubt, Dirty Girl. He definitely is not on that level. Still Fekir or Pulisic for me, said Anthony Peters. I'm with you, buddy. Either one of those for me would do rather nicely. It's no secret I'm a massive Pulisic fan. He's the signing I'd like us to make. But look, Fekir, I would have been more than happy to have had Fekir, and I still would be. Fekir is better than Zielinski. Not being biased, he is. Ferno, you are correct. I would 100% agree with you. I demand Fekir, said Dirty Girl. There you go. Hashtag announce Fekir. Ken Zood said, if we do sell Roberto to Barca, I think we could get Werner. He's quick and young, so he can grow. I would be absolutely gobsmacked if Timo Werner doesn't end up at Bayern Munich, mate. It would make sense from a Leipzig point of view not to sell him to a rival, but with Lewandowski looking to move on from Bayern Munich and Bayern Munich liking to have the best of the German talent, for me it always seemed a natural progression that Timo Werner would end up at Bayern Munich. I could be completely wrong. He seems to have stalled a little bit. He didn't have a great World Cup, but then again neither did Germany. So let's just see what he does this year. If you had asked me this last year, I'd have happily had Timo Werner. And I'm sure under Jurgen Klopp he would progress. But I've always just had a sneaking feeling that he's going to end up at Bayern Munich. Stevie Nicol, how much would he be worth today? Heaven knows, mate. A lot. Connor said, "Hi, my name is Connor. I'm 19 years old. I love Man United, but I'm friends with Aaron, who was asking you questions. He is a Liverpool fan. It's because the conflict between us. We won it 3 times." Look, Connor, you're welcome to the channel, mate. A bit of banter is fine. A bit of friendly banter is great. Another Man United fan on tonight, which is, you're welcome, is all I can say. You've won it 3 times. We've won it 5 times. You've won more league titles than us, mate. It is a rivalry. It is the biggest rivalry in English football. And it's going to keep continuing. So for me, I'd rather be on our side of it at this moment in time, you know. I think we're a little bit brighter. Yeah, that's all. But welcome, Connor. Great to have you with us. Fakir to Liverpool, yes or no, said Johnny Cuntylocks. Do I think it will happen, yes or no? Because if the question is, will it happen, yes or no, for me, I'd say no. I think I've said in the summer, and I can't go back and be a hypocrite, I said in the summer, if it didn't happen then, I didn't see it happening, in my opinion. That's not based on jack shit other than me just, you know, trying to read the situation, but I don't see why we wouldn't have signed him in the summer. Everything seemed to have been agreed, the fee was agreed, the player was happy, we've seen him pictured in the fucking shirt. So whatever stopped that happening in the summer, for me, yeah, it stopped it, and I just don't see it happening again. Ferno said, "Love your name, Johnny." Maybe if Jose listens to the fans and drops Lukaku for a few, might recoup some ground on Spurs. Martial played quite well today for United, in fairness. It's no secret how good a player Martial is. United fans seem to be a little bit frustrated by him. Excuse me, and whether that's by him or the treatment from Mourinho, I don't know. But look, I don't think he's going to sign a new deal at United if Mourinho stays. Cookie Monster is good, said Dirty Girl. Craig, will you be doing an agenda on Boxing Day? We call it St. Stephen's Day, mate, here in Ireland. You call it Boxing Day. I don't know. I haven't got a clue. Haven't thought that far ahead yet, Stephen. Probably. I'm that fucking... not addicted to this, but I'm that hyped doing this and I enjoy it so much that never say never, mate. I could be sitting here in my fucking Santi costume doing one, so let's just wait and see what happens. Rod's up early. Good morning, Rod. Rod, I'm interested. Did the clocks change for you, buddy, in Australia? Is it now 7:23am for you there, buddy, or 6:23am? Because our clocks changed. Our clocks went back an hour. You'll have to show us when you get the onesie. I will, Louise. You've got my promise. If it fits. If it comes and if it fits, you'll see it. No problem. When are the Cop Council podcasts coming back? Love them, said Johnny Cuntylocks. They're not, mate. They're done. As a group, we decided to stop doing the podcasts. Myself and Connor will be starting a new podcast, but it will be a once a week podcast. I don't want to give out the name of it yet. We have a name. It will basically be formatted like the Joe Rogan experience. Now, I'm not comparing us to fucking Joe Rogan, but the way Joe Rogan does his podcasts is brilliant. So there'll be myself running the podcast. Connor will be there. Connor will also be there as a live researcher to give his opinion on things, to screen share, to do another few bits and pieces, and we will have guests on as well from time to time as well. It probably won't all be to do with Liverpool Football Club, and this will be a once a week thing, as I've said. I want to explore other things. I've got lots of interest in boxing. I want to touch on UFC at times. I want to make a few documentaries. There's so much I want to do on this channel, and we're starting to get there now. We're starting to settle into a rhythm. Things are settling down for us. We've a little bit more time. And yeah, this podcast will be out. I'd say we'll probably put it out on a Wednesday every week. That's not confirmed yet, so don't hold me to it. But it will be a podcast that will be about an hour and a half long. It will go out once a week. It will also be uploaded to YouTube. Whether we record it live or pre-record it, I don't know. Most likely live, because I like doing things live. But yeah, so that's one more thing I guess you guys may have to look forward to if you like the podcast. It's a lot of work for me because I've got to go and set up an entire new podcast now. And that actually is my department. As much as Connor is the technical genius in this, setting up podcasts and putting those things up on iTunes and all that, that's actually my department for once. So I'm really looking forward to it though. I fucking love podcasts and I miss not doing them. Alison has a beautiful beard and knows how to play the guitar, said Ferno. You just got to wear the Cookie Monster onesie after Crimbo Craig. Could have been worse. The mother-in-law could have got you an Oscar the Grouch onesie. We have an Oscar the Grouch suitcase demo, believe it or not. If you're wondering why, by the way, a lot of Sesame Street stuff, when we go over to Orlando, one of the parks that we go to is Busch Gardens, and in Busch Gardens there's a Sesame Street area. Now obviously with the kids you're going to bring them in there. And there was an offer last year at the time when if you bought a photo package for the park, you could get this Oscar the Grouch suitcase for like $30 or something at the time. So we got that, and I actually used that Oscar the Grouch suitcase for my little trips over to the UK and stuff because it's easy to spot this big bright green suitcase. So you say it could have been worse, we've got Oscar the Grouch, but you know what? I'm a grouchy bastard, so I wouldn't have minded Oscar the Grouch. United need a coach that cares first and foremost, not a celebrity, said Pepper Red. Any guests this week, said Dirty Girl. I haven't talked to anybody, is the honest answer. I know Cash is back in Ireland spending time with her family in Derry, which is brilliant. I haven't really spoke to Dave much or Chris. There will be guests going forward, Dirty Girl, but I'm going to try and mix it up a little bit and get people on. Raptor, I have to get Raptor on again soon, by the way. I mean, it's been far too long since we heard his dulcet tones. So Raptor, buddy, if you're there, we've got to get you on soon. But yeah, we'll have more guests on. I'd love to get Daz on. If Daz has given up and he has packed up on the bench LFC, I'd love to get him on as a regular guest on here, or even to get him in to do some shows from time to time, because I love Daz, and anyone that watched on the bench LFC will have nothing but good things to say about the dude, because he's top fella. United should sign Father Ted, they might need counselling and guidance. Gravy for Sam. Gravy Sam for United, actually, excuse me. That money was just resting in his account, Rod. It's true. Louise is off to bed. Talk to you soon, Louise. Thank you for joining us, mate. Pogba exhibits childhood behaviour, said Anthony Peters. He seems like a little bit of a spoiled brat occasionally, I have to say. Something happened earlier on. I wasn't going to bring this up. Should I bring it up? Should I mention it? Yes, I probably should. No, well, I'm going to. Whether I should or not, it doesn't matter. So, have you guys ever heard the expression, hold my pint? So, you usually hear people say, hold my pint or hold my beer, and then you see something happen. So, like, hold my beer, I'm jumping off this cliff. Hold my beer, I'm going in here to sort out this row. Or, you know the phrase. So, I put that up earlier on the Anfield Agenda Twitter account. And it was, hold my beer, and then I retweeted this video of, it was a big build up of Paul Pogba, loads of Paul Pogba moments, but it ended up with a shitty shot today that went out for a corner rather than a throw in. Anyone who watched the match knows what I'm talking about. So a lot of people liked and retweeted it, but there was one particular comment that made me think. One comment said something along the lines of, you can't say that he doesn't drink beer, he's of Muslim faith. Now, firstly, I didn't know he's of Muslim faith, but if I'm being honest, that wouldn't have stopped me with the tweet, because the tweet had absolutely fuck all religious connotations to it. There was no religious connection to the tweet. So I was going back and forth with this gentleman, and he was very polite and very friendly. There was no trolling involved whatsoever. But it just got me thinking about that tweet. And he said he got in trouble, or not in trouble, because that's not the right word. He got pulled up by somebody for something very similar lately. And I thought to myself, that the world is going a little bit fucking mad here. Like, if in a scenario where I said that, hold my beer, and retweeted this video, how somebody can somehow try and piece that together to be offensive towards a religion or a group of people, I don't know. Am I taking the piss out of Pogba? 100%. Am I taking the piss out of religion? Absolutely not. Religion had nothing to do with that. I don't get it. I just don't get how people try to find faults in people or find a way to be offended when there was clearly never any offence meant, and they just try and find ways to be angry. It's crazy. And as I say, I want to be very clear, this gentleman was really, really nice, very amiable in his responses, and wasn't trying to troll or anything. We should sign Chilwell, said Mr. RJC. He's very good, mate. We were linked with him, as we know, very strongly linked with him. He's had a good season this year for Leicester City. He's really progressed. I love LFC. I love Anfield Agenda. Thanks for having a fantastic channel and getting me a seat at Anfield. Love you all. Got 2 tickets in the Cop. You say the Lou, but I'm sure you meant to say the Cop, which is brilliant. I'm so happy for you, mate. I sincerely am. I can't wait to get back over to Anfield. It feels like too long. With all the family stuff sorted and that now, as soon as my wife gets a bit of physio and all, our backs up to it, definitely have to try and get tickets and get over after Christmas. Liverpool versus Dortmund, Champions League final, said Gary. Dortmund are on a good run this year, mate, aren't they? They've really turned it around from last year. Ben, talk to you soon, mate. Thanks for joining us and have a good day tomorrow, buddy. Chelsea fans are white flight fans. I don't know what that means. Maybe Moreno will be decent further up the pitch, said Cameron. I agree, mate. He would be better, I think, further up the field. Chelsea are rent boys, said Delcroft. I just got to read that one out again, just in case I made a mistake there. Chelsea are rent boys. Chelsea are rent boys? Chelsea are rent boys. Chelsea are rent boys. Yeah, no, I definitely got it right. He did say Chelsea are rent boys. Harry Wilson, good prospect, said Shabir. He's very good, mate. So's Ryan Kent. He's doing quite well up at Rangers, but Wilson seems to be really, really up on his level. Paul said, hello guys. I see the Blue Shy gave the customary 3 points to Manchester United. There'll be another 3 to come, Paul, don't worry. At Everton. There'll be another 3 at Goodison Park. They'll give them another 3 handy points. They do love to give United 6 points. Maybe Moreno could be a decent left winger. Once I remember Klopp saying that he was the best finisher of the club. Do you remember his first goal for Liverpool? It was one of his first games, the goal he scored against Spurs. I remember thinking to myself, oh hello, who is this lad? It was an absolute perler of a goal. And I remember thinking, oh, we could have something special here with Moreno. Pace, power, a left foot on him. Interesting. Hasn't quite panned out that way, but that was some goal. Grobler, Lawrence and Hansen, Phil Neal and Anna Kennedy would be my defence, at Gareth. I tuned into Arsenal's game last night at 49 minutes and turned off again at 56 minutes, said Rod. Gary's going for a 2-1 win for the Reds. Zielinski is good, but he ain't that special, said Raptor. He certainly wouldn't fill any holes in our club. Paul said, after seeing Arsenal at Palace today, we'll smash them next week. Hodgson came out afterwards and he was actually disappointed. He thought they were the better team. So there you go. That says a lot when Roy the Emu Hodgson is coming out and saying that he thinks that they should have beaten Arsenal. One more topic that I want to have a chat about, guys, that I've been hanging off on before we finish up on tonight's stream, but I want to get through some more of your comments first. Daz might say in his stream or something, I just don't want to publicise it. Oh, what's it going to be there? Sorry, I missed out on something here, I think. Oh, I'm up for it, Craig. Just give me a shout with some warning. A lot of small kiddie stuff happening at the minute, said Raptor. I will, buddy. Certainly will. That Connor Kelly guy that you guys have timed out, I don't really think he's been disrespectful there. He just said he hates Liverpool with a passion and we're 30 years without the league. He's wrong with the 30 years part, but he's every right. If he hates the club, so be it. That's completely up to him. I don't think he's being rude though. Well, he's being rude maybe, but I don't think he's being abusive. I would have rather had a conversation with the young man and see why he hated Liverpool so much. Pogba is very talented but sounds like a troublemaker in the dressing room. Well, I suppose, look, we've got to be fair and say we don't know about that, Shabir. We've had that said of Daniel Sturridge. We even heard it said of Shaqiri, and we didn't experience that when they were at our club. So, yeah, so I don't know. Ferno said Daz had things happen in his private life. I do know about them, mate. He did let me know. He'll be back soon. He's a great guy. He most certainly is. Very nice guy. Anthony Peter said, "What an ignorant person, Craig, whoever he was. Loads of Muslims drink alcohol." Just to clear it up, Anthony, mate, he wasn't at all. He was trying to protect the account, I think, more than anything. The tone that he was using towards us was more one of trying to be helpful rather than trying to shout us down. Most of the guys on here only heard how good Liverpool were in the 70s and 80s. We were pretty damn fucking good, mate. Look, I'm only born in 81, so didn't see the 70s and obviously just caught the tail end of the 80s, but from watching back videos and stuff, pretty damn impressive. Sorry, Chelsea are what? Oh, did I not read that comment out? I think he said something like Chelsea are rent boys. Or was it Chelsea are rent boys? I think it was Chelsea are rent boys. I think that was it. Just to be clear though, Lee, I think that's what it was. Madrid wanted Moreno when Rodgers was at the club. I wonder if they'd still take him, said Mr. RJC. 4-2 to the Reds for Mr. RJC. Damo, buddy, good night, talk to you soon. Thank you for joining us, always a pleasure. Damo's one of the funniest guys on here, by the way. Some of his posts always crack me up. Top fella. Connor, you've no need to apologise to me anyway, mate. I didn't think what you said was spiteful. I mean, you were being honest. You didn't call anybody a prick, tell anyone to go and fuck themselves. So I'd just like to know why you have such a hatred towards Liverpool, if that's okay, Connor. If you have a chance, mate, please do post that in to let me know. I don't like United, and I can say why, because any United fans I know in life seem to be arrogant gits. I have a begrudging respect for the club, particularly Sir Alex Ferguson and what he accomplished, but there's that rivalry that I just don't like as well. And I'm sure maybe you feel similarly, but I'd like to know why exactly you do have the hatred towards Liverpool. He said Scousers eat rats in council houses, Craig. Well, that's clearly a statement that's unacceptable. Absolutely unacceptable. I mean, I live in a council house. Clearly, be honest, I live in a council house. Certainly don't eat rats though. Nor am I a Scouser, obviously, because I'm Irish, but I don't understand the council houses slag. There's some council houses in Dublin that cost 400 grand, like, so I just don't understand that. What £60 million deal Ricky Hickman wants to know. Mate, the deal we were talking about was something that was, what paper was it in? I want to get that right because I hate not. In the Express, excuse me, there was a report in the Express that Jurgen Klopp wants to go back in to get Zielinski from Napoli. Jurgen Klopp has apparently been a long admirer of the player, and we were linked with him previously, if you remember, under Brendan Rodgers. Apparently there's a £60 million release clause in Zielinski's contract. Bayern Munich are apparently also sniffing around, but Napoli want to reward him for his good play and tie him down to a new deal. Maybe they just want to increase that buyout clause as well. I don't know. I don't believe it, Ricky, if I'm being honest. Why spend £60 million on Zielinski when you could have had Fekir for less or in and around the same money? So it doesn't make sense to me because he's not the same calibre of player in my humble opinion. Craig, trust the Spanners, mate. Well, absolutely. I didn't see that comment, so to the Spanners that may have felt I was a bit harsh on them, I apologise, because that comment was unacceptable and there's no coming back from that comment. Apologies or not. We had a gentleman yesterday who apologised and he was sincere. And he just misplaced one word, but to say Scousers eat rats in council houses, it's childish, it's ridiculous. I don't know. He's gone anyway. Craig, before I go, love this channel. Thanks for doing what you do. You and your back staff are the best. Del, mate, it's a pleasure. It's been a pleasure knowing you on Twitter, buddy, so far. And I hope you continue to enjoy the channel on here. And I'm so glad that you got those tickets sorted out, buddy. Nothing worse than going over there and not being able to see the game, especially when you have a child with you. So, nice one. Whoever sorted you out as well, fair play. Did you see Phil Neville's match analysis and match of the day saying Cardiff were unlucky and deserved at least a draw? I didn't see match of the day, but I did read which Liverpool journal was it that pulled them up on it? It was... Oh, somebody pulled them up. I did see. He said the Cardiff were unlucky. They had one fucking shot on target in the entire game, which was their goal, which was very lucky. So for Phil Neville, Mr. Ridiculous. He's one of the worst fucking pundits in football. And that has nothing to do with him being ex-Manchester United, because I've given Gary Neville so much praise on here for his punditry. Phil Neville is absolutely deplorable. As are so many of the people that are on television these days. Phil Neville, useless. Jermaine Jenas, useless. Danny Murphy, useless. Robbie Savage, useless. The other guy that used to play for Blackburn, Sutton, useless. There are lots and lots of pundits on television that are absolutely useless. But Phil Neville comes out with some proper garbage. He really does talk a lot of shite. And during times like that, it pisses me off that nobody has the moral courage to stand up and say, come on Phil, that's rubbish. You're talking nonsense there, mate. Somebody, this is about modern journalism and some of the stuff that people get away with, particularly in press conferences with managers. I love people to be able to stand up and say, well look Jurgen, that's not right, or look Jose, them facts are incorrect, mate, you're not talking the truth there. You know, stuff like that. And I understand why they don't. I've said it before, because they'd be booted out, they'd be banned from football clubs, would be that petty that they'd probably ban them from press conferences. But when people are talking shit, they need to be called out for it. I can't keep my mouth shut usually, so if people talk shit and I see it, I do like to call them out on it. And if I've been called out on saying stuff wrong as well myself, so I'm no saint. The bank scum forget that all their top goal scorers are fellow scouts, or sit down lads, said Antico. Both Neville brothers always downscaling Liverpool, said Shabir. To be fair, what I have to say there about Gary Neville again is he stuck up for his mate Jamie Carragher as best he could. Nobody could defend what Jamie Carragher did at that time, but Gary Neville did come out and say that he didn't want to see Carragher sacked. He believed he still had a place. I have respect for Gary Neville for that one, and because he does a very good job on Sky. They don't like Liverpool. There's no Gary Neville will openly admit to his disliking of Liverpool Football Club, but I think he's the more fair of the two brothers when it comes to Liverpool. Oh, there's that Connor Kelly guy. Oh no, you're gone. Adios, Connor. Gone. That comment is unacceptable. I didn't realise you hadn't been fully booted out. 300 seconds isn't long enough. He's gone. I feel sorry for the England women's team. Phil Neville's their manager. It's a disgrace. I'm no scouser. My house belongs to the bank, and buying sausages in the shop is cheaper in Oz than catching rats. Can I still be here, please? We'll make an exception, Rod. It's okay, buddy. We'll make an exception for you just this time, but I mean, you don't eat rats. I mean, what type of a man are you at all? Will said, anyone seen the pitch at Wembley? Man City versus Spurs would be interesting. It looks like something you'd see at the park. It doesn't look great. I've seen some aerial shots of it earlier on, mate. It looks pretty broken up. Was there something on there? Was there rugby on this weekend or something? Or NFL? Did I miss out on something at Wembley that caused the pitch to be so shit? Paul said, have you noticed the best pundits are ex-Liverpool and Man United players? Yeah, there are quite a few. Although Frank Lampard I thought was a good pundit before he went into management as well. Did you see Souness praise Pogba? The pundits were shocked when he praised Pogba. But at least that shows he's been honest, to be fair. They may have been shocked, but at least you know he's speaking his honest opinion. He also had a little dig at Ozil, which I liked. Right guys, before we finish up, I did say I had one more topic to have a quick chat about. I just want to have a little chat about Gini Wijnaldum. Gini Wijnaldum against Cardiff City completed 111 passes. Now just to put that into perspective, Cardiff City as a team completed 112 passes in the entire game. So it was another excellent performance from Gini Wijnaldum. And I want to know, is he at this point undroppable in that Liverpool midfield. I think he's been our most consistent performer in that midfield this season. I think he's really upped his level from last year. It's been fantastic to see him continue to develop at the club. He seems to have really impressed Jurgen Klopp, and Klopp often said that competition increases players' performances, and that certainly seems to be the case here with Gini Wijnaldum. He's a midfielder who can play in the 8, he can play in the 10, he's even played in the 6. Very well-rounded footballer, really, really good physical presence, really good engine. For me, he has been our player of the season so far, I have to say. So I just wanted to raise that comment about 111 passes yesterday, just one behind the entire Cardiff team. Another really good, solid performance from Gini. And he has to be one of the most undervalued players in the Premier League at this moment in time. Maybe not so much by Liverpool fans, but certainly by opposition fans who don't realise quite how good he's been for the Reds this year. I guarantee you, going into the Arsenal game next week, if Arsenal fans seen him on the team sheet, a lot of them would probably think that he would be a soft point in that Liverpool midfield. Anyone remember Cut My Own Throat Dibbler, famous rat on a stick? I don't have a clue what that is. Dell said, Phil Neville is the worst pundit that's ever been on BBC. The only reason I bring him on is because he's the England women's coach and he can only address women when it comes to speaking anything of relevance. I still don't understand how he got that job. The lady that he was up against for that job, I say up against, the lady that he was competing with for that job had an infinitely better CV and was infinitely more qualified for the job than Phil Neville. I never understand how he got it. I don't like Gary commentating. He's an okay pundit, said Lee. Excalibur, said Pepper. Look, I didn't realise that your man Connor had gone that far. I didn't see the comment about the rats. That's ridiculous. Wonder if Gary Neville has ever eaten rats. I doubt it, Anthony, mate. I doubt it. I severely do. When it comes to modern journalism, just listen to Paul Merson's comment about Salah to Real Madrid. Enough said. Again, and just let it go out into the world and just make shit up in his stupid little brain and put it out there, and then they have the cheek to call him the magic man. Merson's a fucking clown. An absolute clown. They even go with him for his predictions every week and he's fucking forever wrong with them as well. I don't like this whole old guard of people on football. There's some really good journos that could be taking these spots. And yes, I understand you have to have some ex-players there to draw people in, but there's some much better people that they could get on to these shows. Some much wittier, more knowledgeable people than some of these dinosaurs that are still on there talking shite every week in their old boys club. Merson being one of them, he's fucking deplorable at his job. Can't even pronounce players' names a lot of the time and doesn't even try. And yet people find it funny on there. They go, ah, look at Merson being all Paul Merson, rather than look at this idiot that can't do his fucking job. I like Rio is growing on me, said Paul. Yeah, I have to say, Rio Ferdinand he looks like a solid man. I have to say, he's had a hard stage in his life. He does talk a lot of sense when it comes to football. He was a top centre back. Been through a lot, obviously, with his wife passing away. Seems like a very strong fella. So yeah, he's grown on me as well, Paul, I have to say. Craig, you said you dislike Warnock. Apparently he's back in Liverpool for the Champions League. He did say that. I just don't like him though. I think he's a hypocrite, Shabir. I've seen him do stuff and then complain about other managers doing similar things. And last year he refused to shake is it Nuno Espirito Santos or whatever the Wolves manager's name is? I can't remember his name. He refused to shake his hand, I believe, because of a celebration or something. I remember watching the game and thinking, that's just bullshit. Keep the same midfield for Dirty Girl against Arsenal. Gini's been outstanding, surpassed expectations. He's been fucking brilliant. He really has. Gini's been our player of the season since Keita and Fabinho. I can't wait to see Keita come back as well, actually. Sometimes, I've got to be honest, Keita slipped my mind on a few occasions when I'm talking about our midfield. I don't know how. because he's one of my favourite players, and the one I said in the summer, the signing that most excited me that summer was Naby Keita. The one I thought we needed most was Alisson, but the one that excited me the most was definitely Keita. Genie rocks, said Anthony Peters. Genie can't be dropped even for Keita. Our midfield should be Genie, Fabinho, Shaqiri for a bit. Genie, Million, Mo, said Rod. Rio does big up Liverpool a lot, said Pepper Red. Genie is immense, probably the first name on the team sheet, said Claire. He's been so consistent, Claire, hasn't he? Really, really good player. I love the smile on his face. He looks like a rap star as well. Rio loves the Reds. He knows quality for an ex-Manc. Genie is Mr. Efficient, said Pepper Red. Phil Neville takes the Gark approach to punditry. Nailed it, Lee. Absolutely nailed it. Phil Neville and Gark should do a double act. They should go on the United stand together, and they can both talk bullshit, and they both look like as big a loser as the other one. So yeah, good show. Philly Gark. There we go. Philly Gark could be the name of the show. Genie has been on fire for us and for Holland, said Mr. RJC. Madrid are on the decline. It's our time to dominate Europe. Mo is going nowhere. Hell yeah. Wijnaldum has benefited since Van Dijk came in. VVD must stay as captain as he gets everybody playing well around him. Gomez, Lovren, Trent, Robbo and Wijnaldum have all upped their game since VVD has arrived. Don't think he'll stay as captain, mate. Not this season anyway. It would be too disrespectful to Jordan Henderson to take the captain's armband off him. And of course James Milner is the vice captain. We've seen as soon as Milner came on at the weekend, he took the armband. Long term, would I have any problem with Van Dijk being captain? Absolutely not. No issues. If it was to change at the end of the season, that would be absolutely tickety-boo, but there's no way that Jurgen Klopp would disrespect Jordan Henderson, who has done a fine job as Liverpool captain, by taking the armband off him. Now if he's not playing, that's a whole other scenario. Match days, if he's not playing and Milner's not playing, then it does seem like Van Dijk would get the armband. They should have the likes of Gerard Houllier doing punditry, said the Raptor. Merson is a pisshead. His brain has been fried by booze, said Dirty Girl. Love Steve McManaman though. Slightly biased, but love his commentary. I'm on the fence on McManaman, I have to say. I've met Steve McManaman. I've been to a couple of shows where he was speaking, and he speaks very well, and he's very articulate, and he knows the game inside out as well. But I don't know, I'm on the fence with him on punditry, but I don't dislike him. He's just somebody that I'm kind of towards. But as I said, listening to him in live shows, talking about his time at Liverpool and Real Madrid, and talking about other players in football, he does know the game very well. And probably underrated by a lot of people. Don't remember quite how good Steve McManaman was. I love the way Rio scalds divers and the like, said Lee. He's a centre back of trade though, buddy. He would have fucking been driven demented by people diving during his playing days. I said before, I was at Old Trafford once. A lot of my family are Manchester United fans, and it was a really cheap trip once, so they dragged me over to, it was a game against Blackburn Rovers. I think it was the League Cup quarter-finals or something like that. I remember going over and watching the game at Old Trafford and looking at the team, and I was amazed by quite how good Rio Ferdinand was, and at the time Wayne Rooney. Rio Ferdinand was a Rolls Royce at centre back. He was exquisite. Very, very, very talented fella. Read the game really well. As I said, I learned a lot watching him play in that game. He was very, very good. Paul Ince is a pleb. Agreed, Mr. RJC, he really is. Merson snorted Scarface amounts of coke. It blew his teeth out and deformed his head, said Pepper Red. Got to be clear. I'm not saying this. I'm reading out a comment. I hope Glenn is okay, said Dirty Girl. Absolutely, echo those sentiments. Sky did say that he'd shown signs of, was it improvement or good signs, but either way, fingers crossed the news was good there. It was his 61st birthday as well when he had the heart attack, so yeah, fingers crossed he makes a full recovery. Who are we linked to, said O'Shaney Lloyd O'Connor. That's a very long name, mate. It was Peter Zielinski, or Petr Zielinski, as I think he's probably best pronounced. The Express had said that Liverpool were looking to make a £60 million move to bring him in January. Jurgen Klopp's a long-term admirer of the player, according to the Express. and Bayern Munich had also been linked to the Napoli player. He's a £60 million buyout clause in his contract apparently, which is why the £60 million figure was mentioned. But Napoli don't want him to leave. Napoli have been happy with his performances and want to reward him with a new improved deal, so they're hoping to open talk soon. That's where that one comes from, mate. I don't think it's true. And as I said earlier on, why would you drop 60 million on Zielinski when you could have had Fekir in the summer, who for me is a much better player for in and around, if not maybe even less money. I like Stuart Robson commentary, ex-Arsenal, but he's very good at analysing facts. I want Alisson as captain when he's bedded in, just so he's something to do, said Mr. RJC. Maybe we should get Alisson a little drone or something that he can play with when he's in goal, because a lot of the time, you know, Van Dijk and Gomez and that ahead of him, he doesn't have much to do. When Shaqiri was at Stoke, I don't remember seeing him visibly buzz off playing for them, but he seems to be loving life at Liverpool. I think for Shaqiri, everything is just falling into place at the right time in his life from there. He came off a decent World Cup with Switzerland. He got his move. He seems so happy here. He obviously knows that he's loved now by the Liverpool fans. He seems so lively and happy in and around the changing room. Obviously, how could you not love the manager as well? So it just could be a case of this is the big move in his career that was at the right time. He was at Bayern Munich, it didn't work out. His time at Inter Milan wasn't great, so this could be for him right move, right time, right club. I certainly hope so, and it looks like it could well be. Klopp transforms good players into great players, said Shabir. Remember, everybody said Shaqiri's no replacement for Fekir because he can't drive the ball forward. Well, look, you know what? He's been damn good since he's been here, hasn't he? Glenn is responding to treatment at Pepper Red, which is great to see. Phil Thompson is the best pundit, not biased at all, said Neil. That's the thing that I love about Phil Thompson. He's not, like, he's biased as fuck, but he doesn't try to disguise it. He's openly biased to Liverpool Football Club. He doesn't try and disguise it with side digs or anything. He just is Liverpool through and through. Alisson should bring his guitar out, said Paul. Strum a few tunes. Maybe he could turn around to the cop and get an old chorus of Virgil van Dijk to Dirty Old Town going, Paul. That would be good to see, wouldn't it? He wouldn't mind starting to sing along either, because he showed in his karaoke there on Firmino's Instagram that he likes to sing. Shaqiri's a Liverpool player all over, loves the team and we love him, said Claire. The fans really have taken to him, you're right. He's such a little tank as well, isn't he? He really is. It's great to see a keen player actually feel appreciated. Mark Hughes is an ice cold shooter compared to Klopp. Gareth Phillips says, why don't we ever talk about the money they're paid compared to what we are paid? Disgusting, really. With regards to footballers, Gareth, or pundits? Who are we talking about here? If it's footballers, yeah, look, they're paid a wage that none of us will ever get anywhere near. I mean, a lot of their weekly salaries is 4 or 5 year salaries for many people. You know, with the case of the top players, 10, 15, 20 year salaries. But I suppose it's market forces, Gareth, isn't it? It is more than us normal humans will ever make, but all they're getting paid is what people are willing to pay them, so I don't really know what to say about it. Put a smile on your face when you see the delight on Shaqiri's face just to be at our amazing club. Well, lads, just joined. What's the topics tonight, said Brian Morrissey. Mate, you really did pick a bad time. I'm literally just about to head off, but because you've joined, Brian, I'd feel bad if I left, so we'll do another 10 minutes. At the moment, Brian, we are just kind of having a talk about Shaqiri, Gini Wijnaldum in the midfield. The link that you may have seen in the headline was to Petr Zielinski, 60 million quid apparently. Jurgen Klopp interested in the January move. Bayern Munich interested. We're talking about pundits as well and who's good and who's bad. I think that's about brings you up to speed, Brian, on where we are on tonight's stream, buddy. I hope Sturridge gets one more year, but if he goes, he'll get no hate from me. It's a really tough call with Danny Sturridge. Really tough. There's no doubt that so far he's been excellent. How long would you tie him down for on a new deal? His contract is up in the summer. No doubt he would be able to get a very good deal somewhere else probably, but especially if he goes for the entire season, by the way, improves his fitness. But he probably noticed when he was at West Brom that Liverpool is a good place to be. It's a fantastic football club. The vibe there is excellent. Be interesting to see what the manager thinks on it. It really is one of those real tough calls. It will come down to his fitness for the rest of the year, and it will probably come down to what he's asking for with regards to signing on fees and stuff and wages. He was one of the higher paid players at the club on a very good contract. He was looked after by the club when he was injured. It's an interesting case, and one I can't wait to see what happens with. Johnny Carr said, "I'm loving our team and the buzz at the moment. Who wouldn't want to be part of Liverpool?" Neil Warnock having a laugh saying Liverpool are now back in the big time. I think getting to a Champions League final was proof of that. We don't need Neil Warnock to tell us that. Exactly. We don't need Mr. No Eyebrows to tell us about that. We know. We watch it every week. Get another Stoke player. You never know, said Rod. Well, Charlie Adam was probably available, Rod. I mean, he's obviously much better than Shaqiri. Because, I mean, he said Shaqiri was the reason, one of the reasons why they got relegated. John Aldridge is funny on local radio. I think we spoke about this really quickly last night on the stream, but if anybody out there is fans of boxing or fans of Joe Rogan or even knows who Tyson Fury is, and the podcast is free, by the way. The Joe Rogan Experience had Tyson Fury on there, I think 2 days ago. If you can get it on YouTube, it's a video on there as well, free, or you can download the podcast. But that particular episode, Tyson Fury speaks very candidly and openly about his experiences with mental health, what happened after he won the world title against Klitschko, and I would certainly advise anyone that likes pods or Joe Rogan or boxing to give a listen to it, because it was a fantastic podcast. It was refreshing to see Tyson Fury speak so openly, and I commend him for it. Yeah, I really enjoyed it, is basically what I'm getting at, and it brought mental health to the forefront, which is something I love to see. If the heavyweight champion of the world can go on a podcast and talk about his struggles with mental health, then I think any man should feel comfortable opening up about mental health. So well done to Tyson Fury, well done to Joe Rogan for having him on. The podcast was handled very well. As I said, Tyson Fury spoke excellently, and yeah, it was just a good day for mental health, I think, and I hope it encourages more people to come forward, talk about their issues, talk about their struggles, male and female, of course. I only mention men because sometimes men feel that there's a macho thing that stops them, or that should stop them from feeling weak or talking about mental health. Well, as I said, the heavyweight champ of the world, the lineal heavyweight champ of the world, at the minute, 6'7" man monster that is Tyson Fury. If depression can get him, then depression can get any one of us guys. So again, well done to Joe Rogan and to Tyson Fury on a fantastic podcast. Midfield's a tough call. Zielinski was lined up by Klopp a couple of years back. Clearly likes the lad. We'll always get relegated players every year. Which player from a relegated side do we get next? Could be Fulham, could be Sessegnon Furno. I mean, that would be tasty, wouldn't it? I'll fight any man, any place, any time, as long as it's not when Liverpool are playing, said Johnny Carr. No Zielinski, yes to Fekir, Sessegnon, Pulisic and Zajic, said Dirty Girl. Shabir wants Sessegnon as well. Paul Connell said, I had Fury at the start of his career slagging off Liverpool, or heard Fury at the start of his career slagging off Liverpool. Oh, that's just a footballing thing, mate. I don't know, maybe he did, but at the end of the day, what he's did for encouraging people to come forward with mental health, man, he has my respect and admiration, and for the battle he got through as well. Yeah, big fan of Tyson Fury. I thought differently of him, I have to say. If you asked me a couple of months back, I wouldn't have been as pro Tyson Fury as I am, but hearing what he went through and getting out the other side, well done to him. Brian said, I love listening to Fury. Mental health is the most important thing in our lives. I have a feeling that Fekir will be announced at Christmas like the Van Dijk deal, said Johnny Cuntylocks. That'd be a nice present, mate. That Van Dijk deal was rather fucking tasty, I have to say. That certainly made my Christmas period. That sounded weird. That sounded a little bit weird, the way I came out with that one. Wait till you see this Adam Lewis play. We won't be talking about buying Ryan Sessegnon or any other left back, said Neil Anthony. Gareth thinks there should be a wage cap, 200 grand plus per week. It's disgusting. And the Raptor said to Johnny Cuntyvox, not a fucking chance, mate. Give it up and have a drink. I don't know if that's... I think that might be with regards to Fakir. Rod said, Craig, is there a martial arts discipline where the opponents can only kick each other in the balls? I found this bottom wrestling of the MMA a bit boring. That's one part of MMA that I'm not a fan of either, Rod. Wrestling, jiu-jitsu, it's stuff I don't understand, I suppose, so I don't get the intricacies of it. To me and you, it probably looks like two men rolling around the ground, wrestling and hugging, but the technique that is behind it and the thought process, it's, you know, something I don't understand. So I'm not really fit to talk about UFC in that sense, but I don't like the ground games in UFC. I can say that because it's my opinion. But there are other people who know what they're watching, know what they're seeing, and will appreciate the moves, the blocks, the positions that people get. I hear phrases that sometimes I haven't got a clue what they're talking about. I mean, guard. I don't even... What's guard? He said he's passing guard and stuff. I don't understand what he means. Sanchez is on 350 grand a week. That's a joke, said Paul Connell. I really want Sancho, said Johnny Carr. Sanchez is on 500k a week. Even worse, said Ferno. Brandon has joined. Hello, Brandon. How are you, mate? Johnny Carr, it's about 290 after taxes. Khabib is okay to watch because he mullers dudes, but I agree. I haven't seen much of Khabib either, so I'm probably not right to comment on him. He absolutely destroyed McGregor. I've no, you know, as an Irishman, I have to admit that. He did what he said he was going to do. He put McGregor on his arse with an overhand right, which, to be fair, McGregor should have seen coming. As a striker, he should have seen that coming. But he didn't. Khabib, well, that's not why he lost the fight. He lost the fight because Khabib just was better, stronger, a stronger will. Khabib just beat him hands down. And I don't understand, in my humble opinion, why McGregor wants a rematch, because I don't know how it could end any differently. But then again, as I've said, I'm not a UFC person, so probably not the best person to be giving an opinion on it. Some people probably think the rear naked choke is a sex move. It would be a damn good sex move though, wouldn't it, Mr. RJC? Sorry there, love, I'm just about to take your back because I'm going for a rear naked choke. Imagine the look the wife would give you. A nurse on 25 grand a year and a footballer's on 200 grand a week. I think we should stop watching. Look, I suppose we're getting to the point there, Gareth, where you're talking almost about communism, aren't you? And people getting paid the same wages. Look, I get it. I get where you're coming from. A nurse, a police officer, a soldier, first responder, they are all everyday heroes. But footballers are in the entertainment business, buddy, and I suppose that's where the big bucks is. I get where you're coming from. You're right. From a human perspective, you're absolutely right. I said before, the difference the teachers have made to Lucas and our lives has been tremendous, and there's no amount of money could repay the difference that Lucas's teacher has made to our lives and the development of our son. So I get where you're coming from. Khabib, Mayweather, quick thoughts, pointless, ridiculous, absolutely stupid, 10 times more stupid than Mayweather McGregor. At least McGregor was a striker with somewhat of a boxing background, even at an amateur level. You could make an argument there that Mayweather versus McGregor was a striker. Khabib versus Mayweather just seems silly beyond belief. Even more, like Mayweather was silly, but that's even more silly. There's just no point to that whatsoever. I tried to get into female mud wrestling years ago, but it looked fake, said Rod. It's not. You need a mask though, Rod. That's it. You need to have a mask to get into that sport. Another news, 50 Cent bought out Nah Rule crowd for like 3k. No idea what that is. No idea what that is. Paramedics and first responder or fire person should be the highest paid, said Pepper Red. 50 Cent is at about 30p. Right guys, I am going to call it a night there, and I will catch up with you all tomorrow at 10 o'clock as usual. Connor should be back from his trip from Liverpool tomorrow night, so we should be having him back on Tuesday or Wednesday. Then we'll get talking, we'll let you guys know a little bit more about the podcast, But as I said, do keep an eye out on the channel, because it's not just going to be nightly streams anymore. There is going to be a lot more content coming up. That's all I can say. Love each and every one of you. Our thoughts and wishes and our love go to everybody at Leicester at this moment in time. Again, thoughts with Glenn Hoddle and his family, and of course with that gentleman's family that passed away at Brighton. Our thoughts and love go to him. To all of you guys for coming on again. Love each and every one of you. Thank you for the support you've given the channel. Hope to see you again soon. Until then, up the motherfucking Reds.